Dear students of SEM 5 BBA General, today we are going to discuss the unit prescribed by the university for your study in 5th semester. Now, this subject, business etiquettes and presentation skills, is in continuation with the subjects that you studied in semester 3rd and semester 4th. The name of those subjects were corporate communication. And the title of this paper is Business Etiquettes and Presentation Skills. There are 4 units in this paper. First unit, as you can see, it is about business etiquettes. As you know, the world has become a global village. As a student of management, we know that the whole world has become a market. So, globalization has changed business models. So, we have to work and operate our business in multilingual and multicultural environment. So it is necessary for a student of business studies to understand the various business etiquettes which are widely accepted in international business environment. So in the first unit, we will discuss at length about importance and concept of business etiquettes, and in that unit we will also study definite etiquettes for a formal business meeting, telephone, cell phone conversation. We will also study about etiquettes at workplace, which includes internal, superior, peers and subordinates. Then we will also study etiquettes with stakeholders, and in stakeholders we include suppliers and customers. Unit 2 or Unit 2 deals with business presentation, or in the simplest language we can call as business presentation. The whole unit is divided into 4 smaller units. They are importance and role of business presentation. Number 2, planning for presentation. Number 3, preparing and practicing or rehearsing the presentation. And number 4th is delivering the presentation. In short, the whole unit is about business presentation and various stages in making an oral presentation. Unit 3 or Unit 3 deals with communication in public relation. As we know, every business model or every business or every company operates in a certain socio-economic and cultural context. So every business is directly or indirectly connected to people. So it is necessary for a company to keep good relations with the general public. So in this unit, we are going to study different aspects of public relations in the modern business environment. Now this unit is divided into 4 subunits. They are public relation, definition, and the fundamentals or 4 basic elements of public relation. Second is form of oral communication in public relation, which include formal speeches, roundtable conference, group discussion, etc. Third unit deals, that is the smaller unit, deals with publicity media for public relations, which include newspaper, radio, TV and internet. And another unit that is included in this public relation is crisis communication. And as you know, crisis communication has become very relevant in this world today because of the pandemic of the COVID-19. So, how to manage crisis and how effective communication can be used as a tool in managing crisis. So, we will study crisis communication, its concept, and various techniques to deal with crisis. And when we talk about crisis here, we mean crisis in the corporate world regarding a regarding any incident or anything that happens which might damage the reputation of that corporate house. Unit number 4 deals with organization communication. The heading is organizational communication, and this unit is divided into smaller units. They are: number 1, definition and meaning of organizational communication; number 2, basics of organizational communication; number 3 is communication climate in an organization; and number 4, interpersonal communication. So you have before you the syllabus prescribed by the university. So when my presentation is over, you go into detail and remember all the units properly. And as you know, from the point of view of your examination, each unit carries equal weightage, that is 25% of marks. So I think now all the units are clear to you. Now today we are going to start with unit number 2, that is business presentation. And today we are going to discuss importance and aims or objectives of a business presentation, and we are going to discuss in detail various stages for an effective presentation. These stages include planning, preparation, practice or rehearsal, and delivery of the presentation. So we start now. Oral presentation is a highly formal mode of communication. It is made for a specific purpose. In any field of public work and business, one needs to make oral presentations on many occasions and for different purposes. Oral presentations help professionals to present his or her case in a better way. The presenter must work very hard on it because it enables him to convince the listener and win his or her favor. One who is good at oral presentation holds the key to personal and professional success. It is a skill that involves speaking style, tone, gestures, expression, etc. All these add to the presenter's oral communication skills. However, an entirely oral presentation may fail to hold the attention of the audience. Hence, it is important for the presenter to complement his business presentation with audio visual aids. Both speaking and use of visual aids in presentation require thorough planning, preparation on the part of the presenter. So, making a business presentation has become an order of the day. We must remember in oral presentation, the most important person is the presenter. And we must know that when we use technology, we must remember that we use technology for enhancing the effect of the presentation. It is not simply a substitute for an effective presenter. So the presenter himself is the most important person. After this, let us discuss what are the objective of a presentation. Mr. Ron and Ferguson Patson, in their book The Essence of Effective Communication, have classified various objectives of presentation. They are as under. Number one, to demonstrate. To demonstrate means to show. To demonstrate a service, product, or system. Number two, to create. To create an image, a strategy. Number three, to entertain. To entertain colleagues, outside people, etc. Number four, to sell. To sell a concept, product, or idea. Number five, to represent. To represent a group, company, or department. Number six, to promote an attitude, a way of working. Number seven, to suggest a solution, a new concept. So, first of all, a presenter must know what is his objective. And before making presentation, before making even planning for presentation, he must have clear objective in his mind. So, keeping in mind, he should fine tune his presentation in a proper way. So, first and most important thing in a business presentation is the objective. An objective should be clear in the mind of the presenter. Now, let us discuss various stages of presentation. So, first stage of presentation, which actually comes before presentation, that is planning. Because without planning, there are chances that your presentation may fail. You cannot win the confidence of the audience. So, you have to plan your presentation before you actually sit down to prepare for it. Now, planning consists in obtaining knowledge about the audience, considering physical relevant to the presentation, and deciding the structure of the presentation. Now, the analysis of audience is very important. In that, first point is know your audience. So, it is a part of planning. The first step towards planning is acquiring sound knowledge of your audience for both the depth of the content and the format of the presentation will be governed by the composition of your audience. The following point should be considered in audience analysis. First, what is the audience's background and how knowledgeable they are? When we talk about audience's background, you must have in mind their socio-cultural and political background. As far as knowledge is concerned, you must consider their basic educational qualification. Then, second point is what are the strengths and weaknesses of the audience or the group to whom you are going to address. Number three, how large will the audience be? The number, how many people will be there to be addressed? Then, what age group do they belong to? Because age group is very important, because with passing of age, your taste, your likes, your preferences change. So you must know the age group to whom you are going to address. Then last will the audience be all male or female or mixed lot? So you have to see the gender of your audience also, because when you are making a presentation on some social issue, you have to highlight the female gender also. Otherwise, they will feel that they are neglected. Interest vary with change, with gender and with background. Now background also include many things: rural background, urban background, middle class people, rich people, prospective investors, all this. So your presentations have to be adapted to the interest and needs of the audience. Now, these are the points that you should keep in mind when you make an analysis of the audience, though this is a part of your planning. Then you are supposed to consider physical factors. Now, what are the points that should be kept in mind in physical factors? They are as under. Number one, where and at what time of the day is the presentation is to be made? So time is important and day is also important, whether it is a Monday, whether it is a holiday, whether it is a public holiday, or whether it is a day of festival. So you should keep in mind time and day of the presentation. Then you have to think about your order, that is, are you the only speaker or are there others too? If you are one of the speakers, where do you fit in? Will you be the first speaker or somewhere in the middle or the last speaker? So you must know before that what will be your order in speaking. Then you must know that are you the only speaker on the subject? Then if audio visual aids are to be used, keep in mind, will audio visual aids be available? And if the answer is yes, do you know how to operate them efficiently? And if you cannot operate them efficiently, you should go for option. Will some assistance be available to you at the time of presentation? Make it sure. Then be clear, will you be required to use a microphone? Then will you be needing handouts? And how long will your presentation be? Because nowadays time is more precious than money, and if your presentation is irrelevant and lengthy, people will not like it. So your presentation has to be effective and precise, and therefore planning is very important. So all these factors are very important for planning. And when you use audio and visual aids, it enhances the effectiveness of your presentation. And for that, you will have to prepare slides, etc. But we will talk about the use of audio and visual aids in the next unit. But primarily in this unit, we are concerned with the structure and various phases or stages in an effective presentation. Now planning is over. Now you have to give a definite shape to your presentation, what we call as structuring the presentation. There are 6 parts of an effective presentation. Number 1, your introduction and the statement of the objective. You have 3 aims here. Number 1, tell the audience who you are, which organization you represent, and what your designation is. That means give your brief introduction. And remember, this information must be concrete and clear, and above all, it must be concise. Second important point is make a clear statement of the objective of the presentation. Because when you share your objective of the presentation, the audience will concentrate on the objective and will keep an eye whether you deviate from your objective or not. So objective is very important. When you talk about your objective, it gives you a roadmap for your presentation. And number 3 is create a rapport with the audience. Now, in the simplest term, rapport means an emotional bond. So when we make a presentation, we must remember that we are not speaking to robots, we are speaking to human beings. So smiling face and a good eye contact will create a favorable rapport with the audience, and you must know this. And one must remember that presentation skill is an skill you can learn by practice. The introduction should be short. Now, when you introduce yourself, it should be short but capable of catching the audience's attention. It should be over in a few minutes and not more than 2 or 3 minutes. In any case, it should not take more than 10% of the time available. Otherwise, people will consider that you have come for not a presentation but for glorifying yourself, and it will give an impression that you have come to impress the others, and people will not take you favorably. Number 2, introduction of the main themes. In this section, you briefly but clearly mention the main themes of your presentation. This part will provide you with a kind of roadmap, a well-defined plan, which, if you follow faithfully, will save you from lapsing into digression. So, when you introduce main theme of your presentation, you are quite aware that you should not talk about other things. You should not digress, but you should concentrate on the topic that is given to you. The audience too will get mentally tuned with what is to follow, and this part should take about 20% of the time available. Now you have done 2 things. You have introduced yourself concisely, clearly. You have introduced the main theme of your presentation. Now you have to develop the main theme. That is, development of the main themes is the third point. And this is the core of your presentation. This is the main part of your presentation. Here, the themes which you have already introduced has to be developed with the help of examples, anecdotes, arguments, graphics, visuals, etc. And you should go as per your plan. You should not add or subtract at the time of making presentation. And you must remember the theme or themes have to be developed logically, clearly bringing out the relationship between the various themes and the arguments. This part should take up about 40% of the time available for your presentation. So remember, development of the main themes is the most important part of your presentation because it is here you clarify with the help of examples, diagrams, and audiovisual aids the main objectives of your presentation. Then comes integration of the theme. Now you have developed the main theme or themes. Now you must know how to integrate theme or themes all together. The theme or themes developed earlier are to be pulled together and woven into one composite whole. A clear picture of the presentation should emerge and get implanted in the minds of the audience. No new theme are to be introduced because if you try to introduce new theme at last they might distract the audience. So integrate means unite all the points of your presentation into one, and it should create a single image in the minds of the audience. Then you have to summarize your conclusion. That is part number 5, point number 5. The main points are highlighted in order to create an enduring impression. If you want the audience to act in a certain way, your voice should convey urgency as if the entire welfare of your audience depended on that one single action. This part ought to be very brief but forceful. It should take up about 10% of the time available. Now this is the last part, what we call as question and answer session. Questions, doubts, objects ought to be anticipated and you ought to be ready with your response. It is not possible to anticipate all the questions, but if you are thoroughly familiar with the subject and keep your cool, you will be able to handle the session satisfactorily. And remember, sometimes some tricky questions are asked, so you must have a sense of humor and you must have ability and skill to evade an answer, or you can go for a diplomatic answer so that your audience is not dissatisfied. So this is all about the structure of the presentation. Now let us discuss preparation. First we talked about planning. Now let us talk about preparation. The first step is to collect all relevant information in the light of your objectives. The information you decide to include in your presentation ought to depend not on the extent of your knowledge but on your objectives and the need of your audience. Some information would already be present in your mind. Reinforce it with whatever additional facts or other information that you have. Select the facts that are most crucial to your objectives, keeping in mind the availability of time. Second point is arrange the selected information in a logical and sequential manner. This is very important because your presentation has to be logical. First point should be connected with the second point. Second point should be logically connected with the third point. And you can make a presentation in a sequential manner. So audience can easily follow what you want to convey. This will ensure that your audience clearly understand the problem and the solution offered by you. Exercise utmost care while selecting your key points. It is better to take fewer points and develop them. This is very important. Sometimes you make a jungle of points. There are number of points and you are confused. So take only 2 or 3 points and expand them. And don't try to create a muddle, because if you take too many points, it will be wastage of time and audience will not like it. So you must keep this in mind, that take fewer points and develop them fully before the audience. Third point is opening and closing section of the presentations are extremely important, because how you open your speech is very important. That is why the opening must be striking, and it is a kind of hook that will grab the crowd. So look for some quotation. You can use a quotation, you can use an anecdote, a political utterance to function as a hook. Similarly, think of a suitable punch line to conclude your presentation. You can use a few lines of poems, effective poems or inspirational poems for your presentation also. Number 4 is it is also time to decide what points you are going to emphasize verbally and what points you are going to illustrate with the help of visuals. So there should be a fine combination of verbal material and visual material for your presentation, and prepare your visuals carefully. Then number 5, check if each section of your presentation is correctly weighted. Proper weightage should be given to each point. Otherwise, what will happen? One point get more stress or emphasis and another point gets neglected. So it will make your presentation ineffective and clumsy. So ensure that the time taken to develop each argument corresponds to its importance in the total scheme. And last important point is time your presentation, because time is very precious. It is important aspect of presentation. Remember that the time taken by actual presentation is always in excess of what you might devote it at home. Keep some margin for this important factor. This has become very common when you prepare something at home, and when you try to speak about that thing in the class, you require more time. So time management is very important when you prepare for an effective presentation. Then comes practice and rehearsal. So there are not ready-made formula for an effective presentation. As a student of management and as a student of business etiquette and presentation skill, you must know three P's. And these three P's are practice, practice, and more practice. There is nothing like standard presentation. Practice makes a man perfect. So practice is very important. Practice and rehearsal are important for a good presentation. Whether you want to practice in a solitary room, in front of a mirror, or to a sympathetic friend, colleague, or spouse is your own choice. You can record your presentation and critically listen to it in the privacy of your room in order to identify the shortcomings and make improvements. So this is also very important part in practice and rehearsal, because more practice and rehearsal will build your confidence and it will make your presentation effective. Now we have video calls, recording facilities are available on your mobile phone. So you can record your presentation and you can share your presentation with your friends and you make an analysis of the shortcomings uh, or the problems that you face while making a presentation. It may not be a final presentation, but you can learn from your mistakes. Simply going over your presentation in your mind does not constitute a good rehearsal. Only a full dress rehearsal, remember the word full dress, only a full dress rehearsal with proper voice variation, pauses, and gestures can give you full benefits. Practice and rehearsal under a watchful eye and accompanied with self analysis and improvement efforts is absolutely necessary. Insist on a full dress rehearsal to get its maximum benefits. Then getting ready for presentation. How do you dress yourself for the occasion is very important. Both men and women should be dressed formally. Men should be wearing a suit or a shirt and trousers, depending on the season. Women should be wearing a sari or a western business dress. Women should avoid heavy makeup and heavy jewelry. A simple principle to be followed while getting dressed is that whatever you wear makes you look neat, tidy, and dignified, makes you feel comfortable, and does not pull the audience's attention away from the presentation. And last point is making the presentation. This is the most important point. This is a big moment you have been waiting for. The objectives, the structures, the key points are all clear to you. They have to be transferred to the audience with the same clarity. Approach the audience with confidence, smiling face, and positive attitude. And if you have all this, the audience will also give you a very positive response. Greet the audience pleasantly and warmly. Keep a very good eye contact with the audience. And if protocol demands, you may address some VIPs by name or designation, but be sure that you pronounce the names correctly. Do not speak the names of too many. Then it is important that audience know who you are. So introduce yourself briefly and clearly. Tell the audience your name, your designation, and the organization you represent. Then make a clear statement of the objectives of your presentation and tell the audience how it has been structured. You can also tell them how long your presentation is going to take and when you will be taking the questions. All this while, you must sound clear, courteous, and considerate. The success of your presentation depends upon the kind of rapport that you succeed in creating with the audience during the brief moments. As you proceed with your presentation, move from one argument to the next in a logical manner, emphasizing the important points. If there are facts or figures to support your arguments, present them in a such a way that the audience are able to understand them. Slides, charts, bar charts, pie charts, pictograms, etc. and other visuals should be appropriate to the text and should be handled competently. So, in this way, in this presentation, in this lecture, I talk at length about what is a presentation. We introduced presentation, then we specified the objectives, then we talked about planning for an effective presentation. In that, we include the analysis of audience, physical factors, then we talked about the structure of the presentation, then we discuss preparation. After that, we talked about practice and rehearsal. Then we talked about getting ready for the presentation. And then at last, we talked about making the presentation or delivering the presentation. I think everything is clear to you, and you must know that after completion of this unit, we will provide you notes in PDF form. Thank you very much.